Alright, we're out here testing out the brand new, or not so new, Antigravity A1 drone. This is the world's first 360 drone, and we have the RC controller here, which you are using to fly the drone with. And we have the goggles, the vision goggles here. These look pretty cool. But what I really like is that we have a screen here, so when I'm flying, the wife will be able to see exactly what I see on the goggles, which is pretty cool. One thing to take away from this though, because you need to use goggles to fly this, is that it is required that you have a spotter in most countries, if not all countries. So that's the only downside with flying sort of FPV style drone. And one of the things with this is that I can fly in a straight line. I don't have to do anything. I can fly exactly how I want. I can enjoy my flight, enjoy my day, and just reframe everything in post later as I want, or just keep it as it is and show you just a regular flight, basically like a regular drone. So that's the benefit with the 360 drone, but I think we're just gonna jump straight into it. And the good thing, the cool thing here is that these goggles, they have a microphone. So all the audio that you are about to hear in a few seconds is coming from the goggles here, and the visuals are coming from the screen record on the goggles and also the A1 drone. So let's just jump into it. Since this is a 360 drone, I can just fly over my wife like this, filming one direction. I can increase the altitude here, and I can go down and around. And even though she is not in the frame as I'm filming now, I can change this in the Antigravity app or the Insta360 app and just use a deep track, follow her, which is pretty cool actually. And the good thing about it is it's 360. It's recording everything in 360, so I don't have to. I can just fly around and have fun and just reframe later. If you really enjoy the X5 or a 360 experience, if you really like the ease of use and freedom you have when filming in 360, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this drone right here. Alright, so we tested some 5.2K 30 FPS here. Let's change it over to 8K. Now on the controller here, there's a lot of buttons, which could be quite overwhelming. But when I've been flying now, I've actually only been using the trigger button and the record button, nothing else. There is a wheel here as well, a scroll wheel, which you can use to move around like this. But it's not mandatory to use that to fly. You basically just tilt your wrist to either left or right, and the drone will maneuver accordingly to how you twist it. And we also have a settings button here, so we can go into that. Screen record is on here with the built-in audio or the microphone. It's amazing. We have obstacle avoidance sensor is off. We're in FPV mode, so if we change to FPV mode, or the free mode. So let's say I'm standing towards the sun now. I can fly straight forward and hold everything just stable, the RC motion controller as well, and just look around as I want, and the drone will still fly in the same direction. And this is pretty cool if you want to just, look around, whatever. I don't know, but I do prefer the FPV mode because this is filming in 360 anyway. So when I use the FPV mode, just switch to that now. I can use the motion controller here and just fly like more of that regular FPV. So here we have the motion controller here, and there is a few buttons here on the top. So here we have the LED indicators of how many percentages is left on the grip here. So each represent 25% battery. On the controller here on the top here, we have a slider. This is used to take off and land. So in order to take off, you push this up 2 times, and then when the motor starts, you push it up to take off. And also we have a brake button here. We have a wheel which you can use to turn the drone around. You can also push this one. So push it 1 time in, and that will reset the view in your goggles. And we have a photo button here and a record button. On the side here, we have the button right here, which is cine mode, sports mode, and normal mode. And we have a C1 button and a C2 button, which both are customizable. And this button will be used when you are doing some of the quick shots or waypoints. On the right hand side, we have the power on off button, as well as a menu button here. So you can either tap this once or tap and hold it to get into the quick access during a flight. And underneath that, we have the trigger button here, which is used to fly the drone basically. So I mapped this to the goggles view, pressing this 2 times. So that's what you're seeing now. This is the view from the goggles. The drone is sitting over there. So if I press this 2 times now, I will move my view of the goggles here over to the view of the drone here. Just like that, we're on the drone. And if we take a quick look at the settings or the layout here, we have the record indications on the top left. This is for the goggles and the drone, and I'm currently talking using only the microphones on the goggles. On the right hand side, we have the settings of the drones. On the bottom here, we have the battery percentage of the devices, as well as the record time or the storage of your SD card or the built-in storage. So the drone has built-in storage now, so I can film 19 minutes of 8K time lapses with the built-in 20 gigabyte storage. The goggles have 30 gigabyte internal storage, which is always nice, but you have to remember that this is Antigravity's first, or Antigravity / Insta360's first ever drone. So to have such a complete drone to start with is pretty amazing. On the right side, we have the transmission signal bars as well as the satellites. Underneath that, we also have the speed, the altitude and distance, as well as the modes you're flying in: sport, normal and cine mode. And if I go back to the goggles view here, we have this button which I mentioned, which is the navigation button. So if I go back now and press this once, we will get into this setting right here. So on the left hand side, we have return to home. So in case you need to return to home, you press this once and then you go into the return to home here, select that, and the drone will return to home. We also have the lost connection behavior here, which is either hover or return to home. We have the obstacle avoidance behavior, which is either off or brake. We have the maximum flight altitude here from 25 to 500 meters, and we also have the return to home altitude, which you can change depending on your location and where you fly. On the left hand side, we also have deep track, so you can select a car or an object and track during your flight. We have Sky Genie, which is basically quick shots. Skypath is also another word for a waypoint, so you can set up a waypoint mission and hit a record, and then you can hand over the goggles to a person standing next to you, and that person can freely experience a flight of an immersive 360 drone without having to fly themselves. Alright, so let's do a quick demonstration of the Quickshot features here. I'm now filming in 8K 30 FPS. It's pretty bad over here. We have some rain in the air, so I'm not sure if the footage will be good or bad, but this is just to kind of demo the feature here. So if I stop the drone right here, and I'm gonna go and just tap one time on the button, and we're gonna go to Sky Genie, and we're gonna select orbit, and what we're gonna do now is to select this lighthouse here, and on the left side here we can see press and hold to select. So C1 is the bottom button. So what we're gonna do is basically the same thing as we do with deep track. So we're gonna press, hold, and drag and select that. After a few seconds we will have this lock mark here, and on the left side tap C1 to start. So that's the bottom button here, tapping that one time and it will now start, and this will do an orbit around that target. Now, one thing to note though, as you do these circles or quick shots, is that you want to do them in an open environment like this, because this drone does not have any side sensors or rear sensors. The sensor sits in the front, so that means if you have trees or anything in the path of the drone will most likely hit them, so just be careful about that. But if that should happen, what's really nice is that this drone also has replaceable lenses. So you have replaceable lenses with the X5 and the X4 Air, and now even their drone has replaceable lenses, which is pretty awesome actually. Let's do a spiral ascent here. This is similar to Helix, so we have still the same target here. I'm gonna press the C1 button one time, and it will now do that spiral ascent, and let's have a look at that. And also just keep in mind that it's really cloudy, it's foggy, there's no light, so I assume this won't look as good. But like I said, this is just a demonstration of a few of the features, so you can see how easy they are to use and what they look like. All right, so we have a deep track, but there is no moving targets right here now, so we're gonna skip deep track for now and go to Skypath. This is like waypoints, so create a route. That means we have the C1 button here, which adds a waypoint. So we're going to make a one waypoint right here, selecting the one. So this is the first waypoint. Another waypoint like this. And we're going to have this down like that. And this is the last waypoint. So now I just created 3 basic waypoints here, and you can also see the AR path here. So this is the path that the drone will follow. And to start this, we press and hold the C1 button to finish. So press holding. And now we can decide the speed of this. So let's just go with max speed here, 12 meters a second. Smoothness, this is where you add the curve you can see on the diagram here in the center. So if you want this to be like quick turns, I don't recommend that, but you see how sharp the turn is at number 2 there. So we're going to change it to 1, and this will smoothen out everything. So we can save this to... You know, if we want to do one now, and then maybe when it's snow outside and maybe in the summer, you can actually save these and go back and do them over as many times as you want. And also delete the route if you don't want it, and just save. And we're gonna press start. Flying route, confirm. So the drone will now fly back, and you can see the line there. It disappeared now, but the line is there, the AR waypoint or the AR route indicator there. This is now recording everything. I can go and reframe later if I want, and I can just turn around and check the environment. Take a look at the lighthouse here, out at the open, maybe turn this way. I can check the small town here. and look down at me. When we're on vacation, for example, I can just do a long path, and I can give this to Philip or Emily, and they can just have a look at it and just move around. I think this is going to be like perfect for my kids to check out, because they are a little bit interested in drone technology and drones in general. So yeah, I am really excited for that. Can't wait, because this is not nice. This is freezing cold and rainy, foggy, and all of that. Let's see if we can find this waypoint mission again. So tapping one time on the menu button here, and I'm gonna go over to a sky path. And here you can see that I already have this mission saved here. The only thing I have to do now is to press start, confirm, and the drone will just get into position and do the exact same mission. And I'll just change over to the FPV mode here just to give it a spin. See how the penetration is when I get behind these houses, because these will be in the way of my line of sight here. It's pretty good, actually. Now let's talk a little bit about battery life here as we do some wave surfing. So battery life is, we have two different batteries, a standard and a high capacity one. I believe the standard is 24 minutes and the high capacity is 39 minutes. I'll leave the info on the screen just to make sure it's accurate, but 24 minutes is more than enough for this drone, in my opinion. It will get tiring after some time. You might get a little bit dizzy. That's just how it is with FPV, but after some time, it will be much better. So in real life, it will be like 20 minutes maybe. And that is more than enough, but you can get the high capacity, but that will also give the drone a higher weight limit of 291 grams. So the standard battery is 249 grams, high capacity 291. So that's also something to consider depending on where you are flying and all of that. When it comes to the specs of the drones, we have the same sensor that sits in the X5, so we have a 1/1.28 inch, and I believe that is everything you need to know. That it's not really much to it. It's the features that it records 360 videos, and that we have the same sensor as the X5 basically. So in that term, you know what you're getting. And another thing to note as well, I'm just going to get over myself here. If I hold and pull the remote controller downwards and press the trigger button, you will activate the camera, which is down there, and you will get an idea of what is below you. And this is really helpful if you're not landing close to you and you want to make sure that whatever is below you is dry ground. You can use this to get a visual of the ground below you. On the right hand side, we have camera parameters. We have free motion mode, FPV mode. We also have the outer display ring here, so you can change this to any of these. Might be able to get some gifts, personal gifts in the future, but we will see. And we also have transmission aspect and defog. So in case you're in a warmer climate and your goggles are fogging up, you can go in here and select defog, which will boost the fans on the goggles and remove the fog. On the bottom here, we have the camera settings, we have safety settings, and also flight control here. So flight control, you can go in and change the speeds and custom parameters of free motion and the FPV mode, as well as going in and customize the button on the controller here. So I've set mine to double tap C1 to have the see-through, basically the view from the goggles, which you saw earlier. For camera settings here, we have image adjustment. So we have sharpness, contrast, and saturation. You can change this as you want to achieve a better and less saturated look if you prefer that. And we also have bitrate. This is the first thing you need to change once you get this drone. By default, it's set to standard, but you want as much details and data in your footage as possible, which will also be a higher bit rate, but make sure to set this to high. It's the most important thing when you get this drone. So now it's going to return to home in 5 seconds. So let's see how accurate that return to home is. All right, so return to home kicked in. Switch to free motion mode here so I can freely move around as much as I want. Check out the parking lot, straight down. It's really cool that we have this built-in microphones though. Makes it a lot easier when you are a content creator, traveler, and filmmaker if you want to document as you go, I guess. But look at this return to home. I took off from the table exactly where I took off. I'm not doing anything, as you can see here in the image. Not doing anything with the remote. And you can see the legs coming out there. That's pretty cool. How accurate was that? Let's check. That is spot on from where I took off. That is spot on. Alright, so we have tested some of the quick shots. We have tested waypoints. What do you think about those? I really enjoyed the way that it was executed by the drone, how smooth it was, and that it records in 360. So I can reframe this exactly how I want. What do you think of the footage that comes or came from the drone? It's very bad now. It's very bad. It's really, really bad. The conditions are not optimal, but you know, this is what I have. Sorry guys, this is what I have. But let's talk a little bit about the goggles here. So what's good about the goggles, just a quick breakdown of the goggles. They have diopters, so that means if you have shitty eyesight like I have, this will just work perfectly well on your face. So we have a screen which is 2560 by 2560, I think, something in that area. And we also have the display here on the front. So I hope in the future that we can customize this with our own GIFs. That would be pretty cool. When you're not recording a video, this is what it looks like. When you're recording a video, this will turn into a live preview of the drone. So that means my son, my daughter, my wife can see what I'm seeing when I fly with this, which is pretty awesome. We also have two buttons on the right side of the goggles here. So this is the up and down to navigate the menu. On the other side, we have one button, which is the select button, the home button here. So whenever you do firmware updates and stuff like that, the goggles are going to tell you to press that button, and that's basically the only way I've used it so far for firmware updates. And we also have a camera in the front here. This is what you have seen in this video. This is for getting the goggles point of view, just in case someone is sneaking up on you, you know, when you're filming. You can just bind this to whatever button, C1 or C2, double press it, you get into the goggles view, and you can look around as you want. And we have antennas, and I think that's it. I think that is going to be it for this video. It's freezing cold. Rain is on its way. It's gonna rain for, I don't know, a week or two. It's really, really bad, and I wish I were somewhere else to film this video, but this is what I have, so can't really do anything about it. But yeah, that's the end of this showcase video. Again, this video is sponsored by Insta360, so it's not my initial review. It's just showing you a few samples, what the drone is capable of, and pulling some reframing keyframes in the add-on. Oh, it's so cold I can't even talk. Okay, so tomorrow I did a range test. With this one. Usually this is what I do when there is a new drone, and man, this thing can fly far. So stay tuned tomorrow. I think you will be surprised. So that's going to be the end for today in this video. Let me know your thoughts on the Antigravity A1. Is it a good first drone from Antigravity / Insta360? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you tomorrow.